was just talking about how we had Powell on this morning. I think it surprised me. I didn't know he was talking. I guess he was in Rhode Island at a campus or a university or something.
Let's see.
So that's that. I was kind of looking to see why the VIX was rising and why the SPY was just seeming to be falling off a cliff. And I was
We
like, oh, that'll do it.
one one of the interesting things, yeah, he was speaking at actually 12:30 Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Looks
Just a
like
little while ago.
the Greater Province Chamber of Commerce
Yeah,
in
Rhode Island. I was like,
Rhode Island.
yeah. I was like, what the? And then the market just started dumping, and I was like, Powell must have said something the market didn't like.
Maybe it just rolled over just cause it's looking for excuse after all the froth from last week, you know?
Absolutely. We kind of had that low volume pump yesterday. Um, I'd like to see SPY get down below 662.
You know, we were supposed to get a BLS report on inflation today, but late yesterday they punted it indefinitely. So
What?
yeah, it's an annual report on inflation, like the actual components of CPI and what they have done for the last year. And the BLS just said, "Yeah, we're not going to publish it tomorrow, and we don't know when. We'll let you know."
What? Can they do that? Is that legal? I guess.
You can do whatever you want to, I guess. Yeah. And then,
Government.
yeah, we're in a buyback blackout window too, so that kind of destabilizes price as companies coming into earnings, they voluntarily put themselves in a buyback blackout window where
Mm-hmm.
executives that have knowledge about the financials of the company can't make any trades because they're reviewing these reports that are going to go out. We're going to put them out at earnings, and we don't
Yeah.
want anybody accused of insider actions and trading and stuff like that. So
Interesting.
the majority of S&P 500 companies enter these blackouts anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks before they report earnings. So we're really ramping up into that time period right now. And we'll kind of, as we move into um, October, we'll really be ramping that up because, this is the end of the quarter. And,
Mm-hmm.
coming up, 7 days.
Yeah.
Got 7 days left in Q3. It's crazy. Then we're going to be the last 3 months of the year, right on to Thanksgiving, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. I mean, then New
Yeah.
Year's, and then we're on to 2026. So if you haven't thought about how you're trading this year, you got a quarter of the year left to make up for any past transgressions.
Yeah. You got some time to atone for your sins.
Mhm.
Um,
So
that's that's interesting. So we have earnings season right around the corner then. I think Alex might need a link here.
maybe
Yeah,
we
he
were supposed to get
does.
PCE here. Yeah, PCE comes out Friday this week too, which is Powell's favorite measure of inflation. So we'll see how that all shakes out too. So
Had to get
just
Alex a
interesting.
link.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be like Chris was talking about yesterday. And he's like, "What's the turd in the punch bowl going to be for this rally? You know, like what's going to bring it down? Could it be
I,
earnings? I don't know.
I, I mean,
What's up, Alex?
What's
earnings
up?
are ramping up. Hey, Alex.
We're just talking about how we're getting ready to go into earnings season, and the quarter ends in about a week.
Is it already that time of the year again?
Yeah,
Is that
end of
time?
the quarter.
Well, we're
Yeah.
gonna be talking about earnings lotto play today.
Oh, I'm
Hey,
excited.
Alex, before we get started, I need to share something real quick.
Okay.
Just real quick, then I'll give the screen back to you. So the profits performance shown today, we're going to discuss a
Oh,
system. We make no future earnings claims. You may
I can't see
lose.
your screen.
Yeah, let me click it one more time. There we go. We're going to show a system off today. You could lose money doing that trade. You know, it was revised back in April. And since then, the win rate's been about 80% on an 8-day hold time. Can't guarantee any specific future results. Alex and I work with traders like you to try to give you an edge in the markets. There's losers, there's winners. If you can't handle the losers, don't trade with real money. The whole point of this thing is to give you an edge in the markets. So be careful out there. All right. And back to you, Alex.
Just gotta get
We
that out of the way for the people.
did legal tell you
Yeah.
to do that?
Yeah, it goes with the, it goes with the
Yeah.
whole slideshow we're going to do later on.
Okay.
So
Cool, folks. Well, we got all right. So we're talking about earnings. We have earnings coming up a few this week. We have BlackBerry.
Oh
I
yeah.
know everybody is holding their breath to see what they do.
Yeah.
BlackBerry.
um they're so cheap options. We might just play it for the hell of it.
I think we should.
We will. It's on Thursday after the bell, I believe. Right? And Costco was this Wednesday? No, this is also Thursday after the bell. Let's just check when BB is. Baby is. Oh, Thursday. We'll play it tomorrow. Ooh, okay, folks. We'll have a little fun thing tomorrow. But today we have MU. Micron Technology. Now, I told you in the Telegram, we're gonna do a lotto play on this puppy. This is right a degen play, but let's look at why we're doing this, because we're not just picking an option. We're not just throwing a dart without looking. We are doing a little bit of investigation. So the options implied move is 10.3%. The average move after earnings is 10%. So you can see here, we basically have, if it's, we're going to either go up to, 182. And if we do move down, we're going to go to 147. Let's go over here. What's someone saying something? Oh, no, that's just Blake.
That's just me. Don't mind me.
Yeah, I've had a 200 target on MU for, gosh, since back in April, I think.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, you're not going to like this play. We're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, the 140, 26 September 25. I'm going to drop this in the chat. The 140 put. Why are we doing that? Well, because one, it can give us an outsized return if mu does move down 10% to the downside. There's quite a lot of new volume being opened up on it today. You can see out of all the put contracts, this is the biggest divergent, rather all the put strikes. This is the biggest divergent trade in terms of volume vis-a-vis open interest. Good afternoon, David. If you're just logging in, you're about to get to the cool part, or one of the
Right.
cool parts. Many cool parts to every profit family. But we're gonna do this 140 MU. I'm gonna drop this in the chat here. I gotta move my little Zoom bar because I can't.
You want
That's
me
why
to
you
put
need
it in the
multiple
chat for you?
screens, man.
I
That's
do
why you
have
need multiple screens.
I do have multiple screens, but the other screen is a laptop, and everything I don't want to show on here, I shove onto my laptop, and then I actually already typed it out because Slack is hard, or not Slack. I typed it out into Slack because Zoom. What are we on, dude? Gosh, Zoom is hard to do line breaks. Let's go here.
Skype went away. Skype's no more.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, RIP Skype.
Yes.
So this is that lotto play that we were talking about, everyone. And I'm also going to show you. All right. So that's the contract. Now, I also was going to say, look, we don't need to necessarily take this price. I tease this in the emails in the Telegram for coming today. Show you why we don't have to really accept the options price sometimes that they're giving us. This works better on individual out of the money contracts like this. Spreads can be a little less, the spread, the price is the price usually for spreads if you're trading something on SPY or the Qs or whatever. But if you do want to get a better price, you don't have to accept this 48 or 48 cents. I'll show you what. So let's go here. I'm going to open this trade up. What was it's 26th of September.
Mm-hmm.
140. So let's see. Now the spread right now is basically the natural price is 50. Obviously, you don't want to go for that. The mid price is 49. Let's see if we can get filled for 47 though. Let's go for 46. Let's just see. Sometimes you can force this stuff. All right. Let's see if we can we force it? Can we force it? Nope. We cannot. So we'll just cancel replace order. We can at least get in for 47 maybe. I did move up to 49. No. Okay. Well, we can get in for actually let me go cancel this. This order. Mid is 49. Let's see if we can get in for 48. And we got it. We got filled. Everybody hear that? We got filled at 48 cents. The mid price was 49. You just gained an instant penny in profit. So, especially when you're using, if you're trading, if you're in my Telegram group and you're trading these unusual flows, of which we did see some Mews, but not in the direction we're playing today. Don't once we launch this scanner, which is going to probably happen next month, and you're going to enter these on your own without like my profit targets, don't accept the price that it's giving you because you can honestly usually get, especially on these, you can get a little better price. Not much, like you get 1 or 2 cents away from the mid price, but that makes a difference in terms of your P&Ls, right? So just keep that in mind when you're trading this stuff. So yeah.
Well, I'm in.
If
What'd
you
you
use
get filled
the
I got filled for 0.49.
Oh,
I just slapped the market.
bro, it's over, man. Just kidding.
yeah, I was gonna say if you use the Tradier platform, there's actually a button, or at least there used to be, to walk the price up. You can start further away, and it'll actually randomly kind of walk it up a penny, a penny, a penny until you get filled.
Oh, really?
So,
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
yeah.
Like a little chase feature or something.
Yeah.
But it just kind of walks the price up until to try to get the fill, try to get somebody to come down and get you.
That's nice.
Bodine is saying IB has a feature like that too.
Ooh.
So one thing I did want to talk about is URA. We did see
That one's been
we did
rocking.
see yeah. So we're fading this actually. Now we're long, like we were talking yesterday with Jeff, uranium is just gonna, I mean, I do think this is going to keep on climbing, but this is a little bit of a fade to me in just the chart setup. And then I saw this, you can see these here, these flows came in on URA this morning. Now for anybody who did take this trade, this is October 17th expiration. So let's see, we're up 4.5%. So we were up 12, I think, an hour ago, 12 or 13. But we're gonna let this we're gonna let this play out because we have time. Uranium is great. I think it's gonna go higher. I'm long it, but I also think that there's gonna be some pullbacks, and we're just gonna try and play this pullback. I mean, I'm hoping we get like a 20% win. We're not gonna close this out unless something dramatically sells off later today and we get like a 30%. Then we probably close it out. But tomorrow we're gonna try and I think we might get a little bit of a breakdown here in the price. I mean, look how far it is away from the moving average. This is the 9, right? So this is the most shortest term that I use, and we're way, way over this. So, what do you think about uranium, Jeffrey? Got any positions?
I went long in September 2023, and I keep selling upside calls on it.
Oh yeah,
Long shares of URA.
yeah. I mean, it's not going anywhere. One thing that's interesting about this ticker, that's an ETF. We have Uranium Energy Company reporting before market tomorrow, which is why we're going to hold. This is what is this price range? Basically, since even this dip in July, let's go back to May. We can go back to April. Get out of here. If we go back to basically the Liberation Day sell-off.
Yeah, UEC is about 6% of URA.
Yeah, it's not a huge amount, right? I mean, it's a tiny company. They don't even have. I mean, look at their revenue. It was like zero.
Yeah.
So, but I do
Yeah.
think like if they report bad earnings, that it's like, which I do think they will. Again, it could trigger sell off in the overall ETF
And
potentially.
you got Oklo in there for 17% almost, and then Chemico is the big dog at 20%. So
CCJ. CCJ reported, I guess, good earnings. They had a nice little. All these tickers are up a lot. If you look at URA, let's look at the last month. So that's July, August. 30% on the month. That's an absurd rise. It's crazy stuff.
but I mean, it's part of the AI catch-up trade right now.
Yeah.
Is that the narrative? We've got to have power, and nuclear is being sold as the way to fix it right now.
I'm long nuclear. Oklo, SMR, but I just I could foresee us doing a little bit of a pullback, at least trying to get closer to this moving average, like $47 or so, 46 maybe. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's not going anywhere. Um, this is a good one.
As
So,
as Maynard Keynes said years ago, markets can remain irrational way longer than you can stay solvent. So
that's right.
just because things are crazy, they can get way crazier before they're correct.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so that's that trade. And then I had one. So IBM, good earnings. I think IBM is well positioned for AI, with their consulting services. Um, they sold off hard. I mean, this huge gap after earnings, despite a good one. I forget what the forward guidance was. I don't think it was too crazy. I think this was a little oversold here off of the earnings. But we've been retracing this gap. Now, I think that we still have some gap fill left to go. Um, yeah, uh, JIM, Megan. I don't know if your name is Jim. Maybe your name is Jim. Jim, I'm going to call you Jim. Okay, Jim. Nice. So I think that I think that we could fill this gap to, well, basically 279. So look at this trade. So if we do a bull put spread, and we move it up a strike, basically, usually we'll do it when the price is between the strikes. But if we move this up a strike, it gives us a little more upside, lower chance of profit, right? But a little more upside. So if we went 270, 272.5, if it fills this gap, we could get, by expiration, and we were to hold it through expiration, we get 84%. If we move this debit spread up a little bit and it fills the gap, right? Remember, this gap is 280. So if we can get to 280, we can get a nice 100% winner, or close to it by expiration. So we're gonna put on that trade. Ooh, Ted has a debit spread. Nice, Ted. Well, I'm gonna do another one. So
Hey,
we'll have to
thanks
compare
for
notes.
showing this, by the way. The option strat here. I love
Uh,
to do this, by the
oh
way.
yeah,
That's a
I love
great
option
thing.
spread. It's the best modeler ever. Thinkorswim sucks, man.
It
I don't even know what it's
I
telling me.
I know, me too. This works great. I just want to pop in because I was talking about this last night. I was like, this is so important to do before you take a trade, so you have an idea of what you're targeting for profit.
Yeah,
Anyways,
and I recommend if people use this option strat, let me know in the chat if you use this. Um, Either disable auto refresh, but honestly, you're going to want to use it again, so don't do that. Just take a picture when you open the trade and save it and keep it in like your trade log or your trade journal or whatever. Because like if you're trying to figure out, okay, wait, where's my profit target again? It's like 2 days later, 3 days later, a week later. You come back here, all the numbers are going to be changed because the price has moved, right? So just take a screenshot, keep it in your journal, wherever, your Google Drive, and be able to reference that when you need to in the future to see how your trade is going. So let's go ahead and oh, okay, cool. So now we're actually in money territory here. We're below 125 per contract. Let's go ahead. I just got to open up. I have this all typed out. Let's see what we can get filled for on this puppy. I said the 17th, right? Yeah. October 17th. We're going to do 272 and a half, 275. We can get filled for 120. All right, so I'm going to type this out before I open it so you always get better. Max of 120. Okay, so entry limit is going to be max of 120. Here you go. Let's see. I'm at 118 now, though. I'm going to see if I can get filled for even less than that. That's going to give us better money on this. All right. So I got filled at, I moved up to 125. Dang it. At the last second. Whatever. That's still, well, that's still fine. Basically, it's, half or less than the width of the spread. Well, up 250, 125, 250, right? So yeah, try and get in better than me though, if you can. It was 118 before I clicked send. I didn't think it would change that fast. Anyways, 125 is the price. And we'll keep on ooh, Ted got filled at 120. Congratulations, Ted. Now it's interesting with the debit spread, right? As long as it stays above basically what 273 by the instead of a credit spread, the time decay, well, like a credit spread, time decay also works in our favor on this. So basically, if it stays like base at 274, 275, it doesn't really have to move. We're on at 271 right now. I'm looking for the gap fill by the 17th at 279. If it hangs around here, though, even if we don't hit this 113% gain, I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this too. 113% gain or so, we'll still be able to get a little bit of profit. It might be less than our target, but money is money. Copy image. Drop this into Slack. Slack is my trade journal, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Boom. All right. So that's and like we'll be looking at BB on tomorrow. That's really cheap. Probably find some lotto options for that too. They're like 4 cents. Let's look at what BB is right now. Yeah. 10 cents, 4 cents. We'll look at stuff. Ooh, some puts coming in hot. That today. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow though. We can maybe get in for 13 bucks per contract. Everybody else, Ted got filled. Jim likes it. Let me know if you got into that debit spread. Let me know if you got into the lotto play on MU as well. And come tomorrow because we'll be talking about it. Rain or shine, win or lose. But yeah. So crypto, right? We'll see what what's
well, it's
Bitcoin
not just
doing?
it's not
What's
really,
Bitcoin up to? Bitcoin
Bitcoin
is
pulled back.
sucking
Bitcoin's got
here.
everybody freaked out right now. Big news,
Yeah,
the crash is coming. Seen this a lot.
Yeah.
The crash is coming. The crash is coming. It's possible we did top out. I mean, it's entirely possible. I don't think we're done on the upside, but it's entirely possible it topped out.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been climbing this. This is the 50 since April.
Yeah, my first warning line's at 111,000. Man, we push below that, something bigger to the downside can develop. Then we get below 107, probably coming down to the low hundreds at the minimum, if not into the 90s. And then we'll have to see what kind of price structure there is, whether we're going to hold that or if crypto winter might actually be here. So that'll
It's
be a
the
big
season.
shocker for a lot of people.
It's the season.
Yeah, for 4 years, I've been saying October of 2025 was when the top was likely to occur. Having top just a little bit before that, maybe August, that was pretty close. Guessing 4 years out, get within 2 months, but you know, um, can't win them all, I guess.
Yeah,
But you know, um,
it's a
I
tough
still
game.
believe we still have upside left, though. There's a lot of things that support price going on up into the 140 to 150, maybe even under 170,000. But at the same time, so many people expecting that possibly we push it down from here. And the
Yeah,
even you look at the Bitcoin treasuries, new ones are coming on the market every day. We've had over $500 million worth of Bitcoin purchased on this drop from 118 down to 111. And even though that Bitcoin's been purchased, it, the price continues to erode some. So those are warning signs that maybe we're about to take a bigger correction here. And Bitcoin does typically lead the stock market by 2 or 3 weeks in bullish periods, but we topped out back in August, and right now,
I
and the
was about to
market
ask
is
you,
now topping.
is this a foreshadowing of like the market downturn, right? The riskiest, I mean, the riskiest
Yeah,
asset class, Bitcoin's the best of the risky assets, but still it's the riskiest asset class in the markets, basically, that people know
it,
of, people trade.
it could in fact be foreshadowing a bigger downtrend if this actually gets starts breaking down through the support. So you watch that 111 area, and then watch that 107 low coming into September here, and we start breaking through that stuff. It can take a trip on down.
We've broken
So
through the 23% line on Fibonacci.
yeah, I don't watch the 23 or the 38. Like, it just, those don't matter much to me. The 50% retrace and the 618, those are the ones I like.
Yeah.
So commonly
Um,
when we're doing a retrace, we visit those.
Solana though launched an ETF recently. Like there's more ETFs being launched in the crypto space.
Yeah, and there was a brand new one that's the top 5 cryptos that came out last week. GDLC, golf. Yeah, GDLC. There you go. You got it.
Oh
And
wow.
these guys hold, this was done by Grayscale, and they hold the top 5 cryptos: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and Cardano. And it's kind of interesting. If you want a mix of 5 big cryptos, right here you go. It's not really doing much so far, but if you want to get long exposure, this is a way to do it without, um, having to go buy coins.
Yeah, well, it just launched last week, right? So
Right. Yeah, we just have a couple days. This isn't like a company going public. This is an ETF, so you're just getting exposure to the underlying. And the more the people buy an ETF, it doesn't really have a huge bearing on the underlying necessarily, unless tons and tons of money jump into it.
are you more of a crypto purist or do you play with the Maras and stuff? Because we got someone asking about Mara.
Yeah, I love to use proxies because there's so much opportunity in those. And Mara is a Bitcoin miner, and they're trying to convert themselves to a treasury. So you look at the chart, and they're up off the lows. This chart still doesn't look like Bitcoin's chart right now. And is it lagging behind and we're about to dip again, or is this foreshadowing that Bitcoin might be about to pop? And which way? I don't know. Like, it does have a potential to break out and run. If it does, some intermediate targets in the 22, 23 area, bigger resistance at the highs we had back in November, December, coming into this year, around 28 to 30. And if we can get above all that, we could see this actually expand out 38, 40, and then some higher targets up in the 60s. But, lots of layers of resistance to get through to actually make a big move up. The
Yeah. I mean,
And
right
there's a
now,
lot of support going too, though.
yeah. Steven, to your question, I mean, so I don't know. You have a couple of things here on the chart. I mean, you have the trend, you have a little double top, sort of an ascending triangle. If it breaks, I would probably for an entry want to break out, and plus you have a consolidation. So basically, up, consolidate, and then sometimes you get the consolidation and an uptrend, and then it goes farther up. But really, this consolidation and this triangle both kind of confirm that to me. Maybe Jeffrey has something else to say, that you'd probably want to wait until it pops over the 1924 mark here before you were to go long, and even then, you're going a $2. You're basically going to have maybe a $2 run before you hit this next period of resistance at 21.16. So I don't. It's maybe a limited trade depending on how long you want to hold it. But
It's
it's
limited
not.
unless it actually gets some enthusiasm, which
Yeah.
if Bitcoin makes a big run, this will probably do a catch-up type trade because it's been lagging behind so much. We saw that kind of transpire on Riot recently, where it kind of broke out of this years-long funky consolidation, very similar price action. If you pull up Riot, you can see the same kind of move and same kind of consolidation, and then it took another big leg higher. You can see it right there, the
Right
the
here.
lower. Come on up to the next little consolidation on the lower
Oh, right
high.
here. Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. See, it came up off that low right there, and then had that lower low consolidation, and then popped higher and ran.
Yeah.
So same little triangle there,
Yeah.
and so Mora has that opportunity to do kind of an echo move that Riot did right there.
The only difference is, like, I mean, when Riot broke through, real quick, Pink Sparkles. Look, the mu trade it's a lotto trade. If you get filled a couple cents higher, like we're going for like 100, percent. So it's like, if you get it filled a couple cents higher than 48, it's okay. Obviously, to your own discretion and your own good judgment on how much you want to pay for it.
Yeah, alts
Um,
trading carries a substantial risk of loss. Don't risk money you can't
there's
afford to lose.
there is no crystal ball. There's no black box miracle system that prints out winning trades automatically. So the difference. So look at Riot here. So like this was coming up off. No, actually, this is the exact same chart. I just had to scroll out. You're right. So it actually blew through that resistance.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
it's kind of like, is this foreshadowing that Mora might catch up, or is this the exception? And other crypto stocks are more like Mora.
What's the difference between Mara and Riot? Are they like basically the same thing?
They see Riot's not really a Bitcoin treasury, as like they haven't converted into that thought process as much. They hold about 19,000 Bitcoins, whereas Mora is holding 52,000 Bitcoins. And
Wow.
so it's just a difference in what's going on. Mora is actually accumulating Bitcoin and trying to become a bigger player, similar to strategy. They're not MicroStrategy anymore. There's just strategy, and MSTR. But Mora holds less than 10% of the Bitcoin that strategy holds. So it's like big dog versus smaller dog, and then
Yeah.
Riot's down there less than half of what Mara has.
What about MSTR? Are they? I don't. Oh crap! I can't type. I need typing
And
lessons.
they've just kind of been sitting and consolidating.
Yeah, dude. But what do they do? I mean, are they? I honestly don't. Like, I heard that these companies that trade. I don't really know what they do. I don't care.
So if you look at, they do some IT tech stuff, whatever, but the real value in the company right now is being a Bitcoin treasury, and that's what they call the infinite money hack, where you write bonds. There's high demand for corporate bonds, especially AAA rated or high rated corporate bonds. So they write bonds. They take that money from the bonds and buy Bitcoin because Saylor is convinced that Bitcoin is going to keep averaging 21% a year through 2040. And so he writes his bonds at bond rates 3, 4, 5%, 6%, and then he's taking that money and turning around and buying an asset he believes is going up 21% a year on average,
Wait, so
and
he's
just keeps.
writing corporate bonds for MSTR?
Yeah.
Who buys
He,
them?
tons of people. He writes billions of dollars of these like every month.
I would love to track like who's like. That's like that seems like. I hope it's not a pension. Like that's
I'm
buying
sure it
just
is.
corporate
I'm sure
bonds.
it is.
That's crazy.
I'm sure it's pensions and stuff. And they're guaranteeing that return on the corporate bonds, and then turning around and buying the Bitcoin, and then they can add the Bitcoin to the balance sheet, which makes their company worth more money, so they can write more bonds, and then just rinse and repeat. It's the infinite money hack. If you've never heard this, like, this is what they're doing.
Oh,
Uh, I s-
I was trying to
I sim
find one of those.
I simplified it, but this is what their strategy is. Their core strategy of strategy is to write corporate bonds, sell them to entities that need stable, high rated corporate bonds. Take that money, buy Bitcoin, invest it at 21%, take the spread, and you make the money off the spread, what you're
Right.
paying versus the 21% per year average accumulation of Bitcoin.
I mean, that's a cash machine if it works.
So far, he's been doing it. He did take a hit back in 2022. Their stock got absolutely hammered, and then it's been ripping, off the lows in 2022. So,
Has Bitcoin ever had a full year? I'm just curious what would happen if we go a full year of a crypto winter, but has it ever had a full year of decline?
I mean, from November 2021 through November 2022, it
There we
basically was
go.
a full year of decline. Um, but that was basically the bottom of the crypto winter. So we flushed it
Right.
out. We usually do that flush out in about a year. It takes about a year out of the 4 year
Yeah.
cycle. We go on a 3 year run, and then we do a year of pullback. And guess what? We're coming into 4 year or 3 years of run, and we're probably going to do a year of pullback.
Yeah.
It's almost inevitable here.
I guess you can weather that. I don't know. Were they around in 21? No,
Yeah,
right? They were.
Strategy, has been doing this since before, they started this infinite money hack thing back in kind of in 2020. So they rode the big rise the first time. And interestingly enough, they did peak in February 21, but Bitcoin didn't peak until November 21.
Ooh,
So
so are they a canary in the coal mine here?
yeah, they could be, they did peak all the way back in November last year and haven't really made a new high yet. So could be indicating that we don't see another high-end strategy this cycle. It's kind of interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah, that is. That's super interesting.
And
Um,
they did make another offering that STRC is another, I don't know what class shares or whatever they call it. They call it a variable rate series perpetual A. Um, strategy wrote these. If and when it hits $100 a share on this offering, they have call protection at 100 that locks in the $100 price. And it does pay a preferred dividend of looks like 83 cents, 83 cents a share right now. So this is another way they're pulling in money to buy more Bitcoin, is with this Series A right here.
that's crazy. They just get the money, buy the Bitcoin, it's a beautiful system. That's crazy. A public company could just be that. It's like an arbitrage company, completely arbitrage. There's no like
And that's what
product.
Mara's trying to convert themselves into doing this exact thing right here. They just don't have the high rated status, high rated bond status right now. They're a lower class bond, so they get a higher interest rate they have to pay.
Interesting. Well, we have a good question. Jojo here is trying to sow derision and division between the gurus. Would you buy MU here, Jeffrey?
Would I buy it right here? It is elevated. I'm already long MUU, and you're probably late
Oh,
to the
MU. I
party.
thought it was is that a leverage one? I thought that was a typo.
Yeah, it's a 2x leverage on MU, and 44 is my target. We're only $2.50, $3 shy of that. So, um, gotta make your choice. Gotta make your choice. It's
Or you
not a
could do
lot of
both. You
upside.
could do both. Get the lotto. Maybe if it goes down. I mean, this thing expires. The lotto play expires on the 26th, which is Friday. It's not.
Yeah, and if we do pull back, that may be the opportunity to buy MUU for the run to 200 on
Yeah.
MU. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's not going to pull back. I just have a bigger picture. I've been long since April looking for MU to hit 200, and there's been pullbacks along the way. I mean, July was pretty brutal. I had lots of people calling into doubts whether we were going higher, and then now look at us up here where we are. So
Yeah, I mean, I was doing some research, and they have some pretty interesting stuff. I mean, what they do, SSD drives a lot. That's what which is
Yeah,
people
that
are,
and memory chips,
yeah.
NAND and actual RAM type stuff. You can buy Micron memory. I have RAM sticks sitting here on the table somewhere. I think they're Micron. I was looking for them.
Nice.
And you know, Elon announcing, I think it was last week, that their AI 5 computer, and Micron's like the big memory supplier for Elon's, cars and stuff like that. Their current one only has like 32 gigs of RAM in it, which is like most desktop computers that are pretty high performance. But their next generation AI 5 computer is going to have over 144 gigabytes of RAM per machine. And that's a huge increase. 32 divided by 144, it's like, 4 times bigger plus some. And they'll probably go even bigger than that, maybe. So that's a lot more chip demand for somebody producing the chips, but that's probably not coming for another 3 or 4 years,
Yeah, well,
something like that.
Nvidia didn't they announce? I mean, I don't know if it was last earnings call, a couple earnings call ago, that they were doing a big deal with Mu too.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Nvidia is obviously you can't don't fade. I wouldn't fade Nvidia.
yeah. Micron owns a lot of the patents around memory technology, so a lot of these companies have to play with Micron to be able to exploit some of their technology to make memory run faster.
Yeah. I mean, I think like if you look at what happened with Nvidia after earnings, they dropped. I'm pretty sure ANET dropped after earnings. No, they did not drop after earnings. One of the other big companies that I'm not going to go through them all. Let's see if
Yeah,
Oracle dropped.
Oracle
Yeah,
exploded.
Oracle
They were up
exploded.
40%.
I don't know. There was one other big chip company that dropped after earnings. Everybody was like, huh, interesting. But then it recovered. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think Mu is still a good long-term bet. Like, I'm not gonna. I think the chip stuff, the AI stuff, is still going to continue strong. I'm just saying, you know, um, what's going to happen, tomorrow, and that's what we're playing, JoJo.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you have to take in consideration time scale. Me, I'm looking for 200. I don't care when it happens because I'm long that ETF that doesn't have any decay. Um, Now, very related to this, what I think is hilarious, OpenAI announces they're going to have like 150 billion dollars of investment, and then Oracle on their earnings announces that they're going to have, they've locked in a contract from OpenAI to have $100 billion of investment in Oracle stuff. And they're going to have, buy NVIDIA GPUs, whatever. And then just yesterday, NVIDIA announces that they're going to invest $100 billion into OpenAI so that OpenAI can give that money to Oracle so that Oracle can take that money and buy GPUs from NVIDIA. I mean, it's just like a circular firing squad. I mean, it's like they're just passing this $100 billion around. Um,
yeah,
Nobody's making any money off of that, really. I mean, they're all going to skim a little bit, I'm sure, but nobody's really making any money off of that. Uh, Yet
that's
Oracle
like with
stock pops
CoreWeave.
40%. I mean, come on.
It's like with CoreWeave. I mean, it's the Nvidia invest in CoreWeave, and CoreWeave buys Nvidia products.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
it's,
crazy.
it's just kind of
CoreWeave
funny.
is the
Like,
one that dropped. Actually, look at that. CoreWeave dropped after earnings. Found one. So that's my predictive value for what MU will do, is because CoreWeave dropped after earnings.
there you go.
But yeah, I don't even know if I have to say allegedly for that. Maybe allegedly. I'll say allegedly. Allegedly, NVIDIA and CoreWeave have some round tripping going on. But yeah. Uh Basically, which is basically when, yeah, like I said, CoreWeave or NVIDIA invests in CoreWeave, CoreWeave buys NVIDIA products. NVIDIA says, look at all the sales we made. Stock goes up, NVIDIA uses money, buys, invests in CoreWeave. CoreWeave has more money, NVIDIA products. And the cycle goes on and on and on.
And this is almost the way that banking works. The bank, you bring $100 to the bank, they take it in, they keep a little cut of it, and then lend it out. And then that person takes it and puts it in another bank. That bank keeps a little cut of it and lends it out. Then they
Yeah.
take it, put it in a bank. I mean, it's like
Yeah. There are.
So,
We always start our disclaimers with infinite. There's no such thing as a black box miracle system that prints money automatically. Um, because there's not with trading. With banking, though, it is almost like that.
and they keep increasing the money supply.
Yeah. Yeah, we need fractional. Yeah, they're basically fractional reserve chip makers, Bodine, exactly. Um,
So anyway,
I
we'll
heard, I
see if
heard you should
it works
listen.
until it doesn't.
You should listen, Jeffrey, to this dude. His name is he was on Tucker Carlson. He's an economist. He wrote this book called Princes of the Yen about why the Japanese economy just cratered. What was his name? Dude, it was sick though. I talked about how banking was. He went through the history of banking. It was pretty cool, like econ stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll see if I can
I
find
took
that and send it to you.
I took my depth and breadth in economics. So I have an engineering degree, and I took my depth and breadth out in economics and world geography and world economics and stuff like that. So
Duh, Bodine. Dude, Bodine is always on top of it. Richard Werner. Yeah, that's his name. Did you listen to that, Bodine? That podcast? That was sick. I want to get that book. It's very expensive though. It's like $140. I'm just like, a book, $140? I don't know. There's other things. There's other things to spend $440 on.
and JT,
But
the digital pirate, could probably find it.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure you could. Um, but yeah, so it's pretty interesting. I definitely recommend if anybody has an interest in econ, look up Richard Werner, um, with the oh, that's because Google's censoring it. Bodine, of course. I'm not gonna show Tucker. Um, I'm just joking. I'll see. Let me drop this into the chat to everyone. Uh, Richard Werner, economist. Just do
It's
some
funny, it
research.
doesn't, even with it put in, it doesn't show anything about him being on Tucker on Google.
Oh, really? Go to your podcast app, search Richard, that name, Werner. He's German. Werner. Pretty smart guy. Spoke like three languages, Japanese. Spoke Japanese fluently. He just spoke Japanese, like he could talk about econ stuff, like highbrow e-finance in Japanese, which is crazy. German, British, French, and English, of course. So very cool podcast. Um, but yeah, so I mean, look, again, the nothing's changed this week. We can look at the news real quick, see what people are talking about. I do wonder actually if Disney is down. I just want to see that. Yeah, Disney's tumbling. I wonder if that's related to the politics at all. Um, wow, this
And
is
they
I don't
firing people, hiring people back, and whatever. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah. You can
Um,
see it right there. Next star Sinclair won't air Jimmy Kimmel on return. It's like your biggest affiliates or franchisees aren't going to play your late night show. I mean,
it's
I
it's
don't
just
know.
it's just screaming into a void basically if you're not going to get aired on affiliates. I don't even
Yep.
know if anybody will see it. It's like if affiliates won't play it, who sees it?
And then
Um,
how does the ad money work on that? Like, what's the economics there? So I don't know.
yeah, yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Pal is wading into the water saying fairly highly valued, which means nothing. Just want to see if there's I want to see what the talking heads are saying, like um some good headlines. Fed chief, stocks are fairly highly valued. Young adults are financial nihilists, betting it all on risky assets as the American dream fades into history. Single family growth is starting to show new weakness. I mean, this is a chipper
I
little
think
headline
I
page
think
here.
I think I've heard every year since I, got old enough to hear it that, the American dream is fading or going away forever. Like it's just, it's people, the way you spend your time and what you work toward. I mean, if you don't bust your butt trying to make your life better, then you're never gonna break out. Like it's not, nobody's ever gonna hand it to you. Like that's just not the way it works. The
Yeah,
American dream is busting your butt to make things happen for yourself. And if you don't do that, and it's not what you do every day, then yeah, the American dream's not going to happen. Like nobody's going to come along with handing out free American dream, flyers, and you just sign up. It's just not the way it works. So
Yeah, it's there's a rose-colored tint to history, people, it wasn't things could be. I mean, I think basically we're all trying to get back to the 90s, which was maybe a once in a epoch time of, uh success for America. But like it's always been hard, and I will say like, I'm not super well traveled. I have traveled a lot. I have traveled somewhat, and this is still the best country to be in. There's no other place where you can. I mean, it's beautiful. You can choose your own adventure. There's very few countries where you can choose as like a video game. You start your character, you design them, their stats, and you say, I want to go do these side quests, I want to become this, I want to do this. Like there's very few countries where all that options are available, but it's still available in America. So don't be down on America. We just gotta work hard. Blake
it's,
says he
I
used to
mean,
live in Germany.
yeah, I mean,
They don't
Yeah,
have
so many other
AC.
America's
places
great.
don't have the opportunities. Like, you just decide that you don't like what you're doing today and you can go do something else tomorrow. Maybe you don't get hired in it right away, but you can start doing something else tomorrow. I mean, and we have all sorts of things that help people start doing something new.
Yeah, no, we do, man. There's so much stuff to do. Seriously, like forget about the headlines. Like, look, we're talking about we've made trades. People say all, it's all broken, everything's, effed, but we're still making trades. We're on here talking, we're making money, trying to make money. Um, it's just like it's fun, There's still it's still a great place to live. And America's not going anywhere, folks. We're a continental empire. Like you can't like we're always going to be here. So, and there's no. And here's the thing: even if all these headlines, all the crappy news, all the crappy like prognostications were true, it doesn't change anything because if like, what are you going to do about it? So you just got to do what you can do, and you know, uh, trust that it'll work out. Voting, yeah. I hope I'm not an NPC. I mean, that's what the thing is. Like I've said the same thing. Everybody's an NPC except me, but I hope I'm not the NPC. That's my whole life's goal. Is just to try and break out of NPC mode.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, it's a funny saying, but there's a lot of truth in that too, though. Like if you're working for a wage and you have no other side plans, no other side quests, no other anything going on, then you are probably just a non-player character following along, making somebody else's dream work for them. If you do have things that you work on the side, whether it's just investing and building your own retirement account, building your own accounts that you can trade off of and potentially eventually make income and live that way. And that's part of my 50K challenge that I'm doing is to build a taxable trading account. For years coming up, it was the common advice, put all your money into retirement so you don't pay tax on those gains and just build the gains in the tax in the retirement accounts. Well, I got tons of money in retirement accounts, but it doesn't help me on my day to day. So now I'm trying to build taxable accounts. I'm still years away from being able to touch that retirement money, even though there's tons of it there. Took $250,000 of my family's hard-earned money, flipped it into 1.4 million during COVID, but it's all in retirement accounts. Doesn't
Yeah.
help in the day to day. So I still, yeah, I was talking to Jack on my Market Master show earlier. It's being poor is like just like a concept. Like it's something you believe you're poor, but being broke is a condition that you can fix. And
Very
so
true.
you have to work on it. And being poor is a mentality about how you are and how you live. If you surround yourself with people that love you and things that you enjoy doing, you're rich. And then being broke is just a matter of getting enough money to make it work for you and getting yourself out of that, condition. So it's all psychology.
Excellently put. I bet nobody thought they were going to get the philosophical podcast streams today.
You know, I think it's funny. I've heard, I watched a podcast, I think it was probably weekend before last, And the guy is, he's kind of quant-ish, he makes all his trading decisions with algorithms, never looks at his account really. And he was like, yeah, everybody says that trading's, 90% or, upwards of 90% psychology and this, that, and the other. And then he goes, I just don't believe that way. And then he goes on to tell a story about how he actively traded and lost tons of money because of his trader psychology. And then he figured out how to cut that out by trading via algorithm. And but he didn't even like associate that in what he was doing, that he was cutting out the psychology part by using algorithms. It totally
Yeah.
cracked me up sitting here from a third party perspective. I was just like, yeah, you solved the psychology part by taking yourself out of that equation.
Yeah. 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 I just found out I'm having a baby girl actually, so I've been thinking more about like
Hey,
psychology and stuff, and it's all in your head, man, all of it. And,
hey, congratulations, man. Good to hear.
thank you,
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. But it's just like bad or good, the world will hand you circumstances you can't control, but you can control how you interpret them and how you think about them in your head, which is the most important thing because you can't control external stuff. You can control what's inside though. So,
Yeah.
just like that's and that kind of same point, right? It's psychology. How do
And
you view
good,
yourself?
good, bad, or ugly, I use affirmations every day. A positive affirmation on the outcomes that I want from my life, and I do adjust them as I go. But it only took me 6 months of writing down every day that I wanted to make $1 million in the market before I made more than $1 million in the market in less than a month.
Yeah. Yeah, that stuff
Um,
works, man. The secret stuff gets such a bad rep, but it really does. Really does have an effect. Um,
it, it's just kind of crazy. Like I don't know how it works exactly. You know, so I've read plenty of stuff, and supposedly it conditions your mind to accept the opportunities that come to you subconsciously, and to help bring that outcome that you want. So it's kind of interesting the way it works. But I write down every day the things I want to happen in my life, and the current ones are the only ones that haven't happened. Everything else that I've written down up till, from back in 2019 when I started this till now, everything has happened except the current ones that I'm writing now.
right. Then you just gotta give them 6 months.
6 months, I don't know, like however long it takes. I
Yeah.
just keep writing them down though. Like, and it's just crazy. If you have no idea what positive affirmations are, you should look those up. I've got references in my Discord. You can just search for affirmations in my Discord if you're in there.
We'll do a
And
master class.
yeah, I could talk about this next Tuesday too. I could bring it up.
Yeah, I
Scott
mean,
Adams. Scott Adams is the one I learned it from. That's the
yeah,
author of Dilbert.
yeah,
He very adamantly claims that all his success in Dilbert was from his positive affirmations.
yeah,
He says, I was not a cartoonist. I was not anything. I wrote these affirmations down that I was going to be a world-renowned, cartoonist. And he's like, it all just fell into place. And I can't explain it. I don't know why it works, but
yeah,
it's very powerful.
yeah. I love Scott Adams. I follow him on X. Uh, he's really good. Definitely
Yeah.
recommend that as a follow for people. Um, yeah, super cool, man. So with all that being said, we're talking about how to improve your life, right? How to improve whatever money you're um
Yeah.
how do you what also crypto. How do you do it being crypto?
Yeah. So, crypto's complicated, right? There's 20 million coins. It explodes. Like there's like 100,000 new coins every day, Alex. It's just like, how do you keep up with that? A lot of people
Not
found it.
not buying the latest monkey NFT, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people find that really difficult to even wrap your head around. And, for in the beginning, I launched out a crypto service where I started diving into all this stuff, and there were a lot of complaints because it's a fast-moving sector. There's new stuff, 100,000 new coins every day. There's no single exchange. There's no single point of price. You can't even you can't even pull up the NASDAQ or pull up the whatever and find out the real price. There's no centralized exchanges. And I had a lot of complaints about that. Like, I want to take advantage of crypto, but I just can't keep up with all the stuff you're covering. And so I developed a keep it stupidly simple crypto service called Crypto Unleashed that takes advantage of a monthly pattern that shows up in Bitcoin. And really, it's taking advantage of this, Bitcoin treasury stuff that I've been talking about here today, and the potential for those Bitcoin treasuries to drive the price higher because there's only 450 Bitcoins a day being mined out, but there's demand for upwards of, some days are 1,500 Bitcoins. The average right now around 1,350 Bitcoins a day for these treasury companies. That's how many they buy up every single day. And that creates a shortage in the supply. And we're now seeing the supply on exchanges drop to levels that we haven't seen since before 2020. And this is creating this big opportunity. And I did a presentation with Jack yesterday, and I think Blake's got it keyed up here to play for everybody. If you're interested about how this is going to work out, I did a presentation, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to watch it here. So stick around, Blake. I think you got that keyed up, maybe.
I sure
And
do, brother.
all
Yeah,
right,
this is
man.
exciting. I'm gonna watch
Yeah, we're gonna
it.
play this for every. This is a. I'm not even gonna teach you how to fish. I'm just gonna take you along on the fishing trip with me for this kind of thing, and I'll show you where I put the bait. Which bait I use, and all that sort of stuff, and give you an opportunity to come along and join me. So
Awesome.
here we
Sounds
go,
good to
Blake.
me.
Let's
Strap
play it.
in.